It's time for the Nebraska Baseball Coaches Show.
The hitter now, the 1-0 pitch. Swings and lines one. Diving grab by Dylan Carey deep in the hole. Holy cow, what a play from DC.
Dice comes set, the 0-2 pitch. Strike three called outside corner, and Casey Dice able to work around the one-out walk and hangs the 0 in the top of the 8th inning. He's throwing. Here's the 2-1. That's drilled to left field. That's hit well. Isaac Cadena going back, looking up, and it's gone. Dylan Carey has tied the game with a 2-run blast to left field.
The sophomore left-hander comes set. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. No shot for Rawson, inning over. And Jalen Worthley nails down the quality save for Mason McConaughey, and the Buckeyes leave 2 in the top of the 7th. Pitch to Dylan Carey, and he lifts one to left. That pushes Volpe back. He's to the wall. That ball is gone. Back-to-back jacks. Columbus now Carey. 16-0 Nebraska.
Now with Will Bolt. Here's your host, Greg Sharpe.
And it's our weekly baseball show. The head coach of the Cornhuskers, Nebraska, coming off of a weekend series at Rutgers, gets set to be home for a while now. Next 8 will be at the friendly confines of Haymarket Park, beginning tomorrow night with the Creighton Blue Jays. Welcome back. It's a long trip out there to the East Coast, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was. Luckily we had a charter flight. Flew out there with softball, and it's a 2-hour and 45-minute flight, so just being able to drive straight to the airport, get on the plane, and get home, it got us home at a decent hour, which will be good for recovery for this week.
We talked last week on the show that it was a tough week travel-wise. Pretty long bus ride to Lawrence to play the midweek game, and then the long flight to Rutgers. And Rutgers, even though their league record wasn't very good, they've got over 20 wins. That's a pretty decent baseball team.
Yeah, they are, and we knew that going into it, right? They lead the conference in hitting. They're one of the top hitting teams in the country, actually, as a matter of fact. And they've typically played us well. I mean, we've had some battles with them. We knew it was going to be a hard-fought series. They were coming off a disappointing weekend the week before. They're fighting for their lives in the conference standings, and they've got a pretty good RPI too. So they feel like if they can get on a roll in league play, that they've got a chance to be a postseason team. And talking to Coach Owens, he feels that way. And looking at it now, Purdue, the team that swept them the week before, sitting at 8-4 in the league, and they're a pretty good ball club as well by their own right.
You didn't win the series, but by God, you were an out or two away from doing that, because Friday you had the lead late. Those are the ones that gnaw at you, I know. And this team hasn't done that very much. I think maybe the Oklahoma game, weekend one, was kind of like that, where you had the lead late but just couldn't quite close it out. Yeah,
it's interesting you say that, because I feel like I got home last night and I felt similarly to how I felt after the first weekend, where you leave there going, man, how did we go 1-2? It felt like we played a lot better than that, and it just it just goes to show. I mean, you gotta finish. You got to be able to, in those middle innings of the games, you got to be able to stop the opponent from scoring to keep the momentum in your dugout, and certainly at the end of the game, when your offense has built a lead for you, you've got to go finish. And it was just an interesting weekend. It was one of those things where we hit an awful lot of balls really hard right at some guys. I know it's easy to say that in a loss, but the thing that I'm looking at, trying to find some perspective here, right? You don't want to overreact with a tough week, but we scored first in all 4 games last week. And the statistics say when you score first, you've got a pretty good shot to win the game. So we came out ready to go. I think we led in 22 innings over the weekend. We only made 1 error on defense. We out-hit them. We out-hit them with runners in scoring position. We outfielded them. And you lose the series. So, there's some things in there that just a couple of little plays here and there that we've been on the right side of an awful lot up to this point of the season that just didn't go our way. And certainly we have to make those breaks, and we've got to pitch better, when we score. That's probably the thing that was the most disappointing, where we just didn't really have that killer instinct on the mound, where when we would score, that they would go out and get that shutdown inning. We've been so good at that. And even on Friday, we took the 3-0 lead. Rutgers answers back with 2, and then obviously we stretched the lead to 6-2, and then they come back and finish the comeback there. But we just couldn't stop the bleeding on Sunday. That was the difference.
Mentioned pitching. Brett solid again Friday, and then Mason terrific. Holding that offense down like the way he did. He got honored today by the league, rightfully so. Pitcher of the week. You got to love your 1-2 combination you're throwing out there on weekends.
Yeah, and it's common traits there for those two guys, right? I mean, they're guys that are very diligent in how they work. They're very routine-oriented. They're very competitive on the mound. They have great mound presence. They attack the strike zone. They work fast. All the things that Coach Childers is preaching to the staff and that we've seen our staff do a really good job of on the whole. Those two guys are a great example of what it looks like, and you can have some success doing that. Because if you look at it, I mean, both those guys have good stuff, but there's a lot of pitchers out there that have good stuff. What separates them is their mindset, their mentality, and all those things I just mentioned.
So that's the good side, starter 3, and then your midweek. That's where you're kind of searching to try to find somebody to step up, right?
Right, and you'd like to have a solidified midweek starter. However, we feel like Walsh is a guy we need to use out of the bullpen. We've done that each of the last 2 weekends. Has kind of rendered him unavailable to do that on the midweeks. And we've gone to some of our leverage guys multiple times for some extended outings, so that kind of leaves them out of the equation as well, to start some games. So, it's everybody's dealing with it around the country, right? I mean, it's one of those things where that's why you see, some crazy scores in midweek games. You see anymore, you really wouldn't call them upsets because you look around the country and every time you look at the scoreboard, it's 5, 6, 7, 8 ranked teams that are losing midweek games to teams that, maybe don't even have great records. So it's one of those things. Everybody's dealing with it. You've got to just try your best to get your pitching in line. And if you'd have told me last week going into the Tuesday game, hey, you're going to go score 11 at Kansas, I'd feel pretty good about winning that game, right? It's just there's some crazy scores out there on Tuesdays. And
just you mentioned Will's too valuable that you can't just set him on the shelf for the weekend. You need him to come in and eat a couple of innings either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And then when he's getting his bat, he hit another big one for you on Friday night.
He did, and that brings another dilemma for us, right? Like, I mean, he was going to be first out of the pen on Saturday, so we don't play him at first base. And then on Sunday, he hadn't pitched yet. We knew he was going to pitch on Sunday, so there's some little intricacies there where if he's going to pitch, you can't bring him in from first base because then you lose your DH. And so there's some things we have to think about and work through when it comes to those things.
All right, no Tyler Stone over the weekend. Give us an update on him.
So Stoney's feeling better. He tweaked his hammy last Tuesday, legging out a double against Kansas, and then right behind that, he had a score on a base hit that DC got. So he was available to pinch hit this weekend, and he had a bat in his hands late in that game. They had left-handed relievers, though, so the opportunity wasn't there to get him in the game. So we'll see. He's available tomorrow. Now, in what capacity remains to be seen. He's not a guy that we're depending on his speed anyway on the base pass. So
you're not pinch running him.
We're not looking for him to leg out a whole lot of extra bases on the, out there. So would welcome his bat certainly back in the lineup though.
Coach is with us for the hour. 402-413-2400. That's our Woodhouse Auto Family hotline, either with a text or a phone call. Also, time to tell you that Dorothy Lynch Homestyle Light and Lean Dressing, endless flavorabilities. Case Anderson got some time at first base for you. You played him in the outfield. You played him at first base. Man, I love his bat. He can really do a lot with the bat.
Yeah, we got him in there at first. He's played a little bit, I think, a couple innings here and there at the end of some games and to get him some experience. He's been practicing over there. He's played outfield in high school. He played a lot of first base this summer when he went and played summer ball. He's a valuable piece of the puzzle, right? I mean, we need to make sure he's getting at bats moving forward. I think I saw somewhere today where he's top 20 in the nation in on-base percentage. He's done a lot of great things, hit a couple home runs this week as well, and really swinging it well.
How did he end up being a Cornhusker?
Yeah, so he came to a camp, and it kind of speaks to our camp and how well we've been able to recruit out of those camps. It was the January camp. He had a connection with Coach Marcuzzo. Danny, I want to say Danny coached his older brother. So there's a little bit of a connection there to get him to camp. And he was a guy that was he was at Futures Games. I say Futures Games. That's Prep Baseball Report puts on a big event at the end of every summer that it's the top uncommitted juniors. He was part of that for Team Missouri. So he wasn't an under-the-radar type guy by any stretch, but he chose to come to our camp. We loved the swing. I mean, it was one of those things where we put the guys in the camp through a lot of the same type drills that our guys do, like velocity off the machine and some of those things, and he just kept barreling balls up, and he's, big kid, 6'3", physical, so it was a no-brainer for us that we would offer him, and shortly thereafter he committed, and we're lucky to have him.
Oh, just love watching his plate appearances. Where does he best fit defensively in your eyes?
Well, I think he can certainly play first base. I think, he moves well in the outfield. He runs well for a guy his size. He throws well. You can put him on the corners and he'll be just fine, whether it be first base or the outfield. I think a lot of it may depend on matchups for us, who we're facing. If we want to give a guy a day on the corner outfield spot, that's a good spot for him. And with Stoney out, obviously, and Walsh, needing to be ready to pitch, that was the day for him to go play first base.
Ben Columbus, coach. What a week. Got a chance to catch a couple times, which I know you've been wanting to get Josh up off his knees for a few games, and then here he goes swinging the stick like a crazy guy in the last 5 days.
Yeah, he's been great, and it's something that I really felt like coming into this season that we would see a much improved Ben Columbus offensively, and he's been a little banged up this year. He's been less than full strength for a variety of different reasons. He's dealt with some things that haven't allowed him to be at his best. But he's finally feeling healthy now. And, Josh has caught an awful lot of games, and Ben is more than capable, like we talked about on last week's show. He's a more than capable backup catcher. And he's swinging the bat really, really well. So we're going to definitely pick our spots to get him in the lineup. He played a lot of first base for us last year. Man, he took a lot of good swings. I mean, the home run at Kansas, he hit a ball. The ball was not carrying to the part of the park he hit it to in center field at Rutgers. I mean, he crushed that ball. Big bases clearing double. And then late in that game, I think it was the lead off the 8th inning, he got robbed of extra bases down the right field line. Their right fielder made an amazing catch. He stayed through a changeup. He's swinging the bat really well and playing with a lot of confidence.
First Husker home run last week.
Yeah, hard to believe.
Did he catch that from his teammates in the dugout afterwards?
Yeah, it's funny. We were talking about it before the game that, he had hit a home run at Kansas in the fall scrimmage. His first fall here, and that was the only one he had hit against outside competition, amazingly, because he's hit quite a few in scrimmages at Haymarket and over at Den Hartog, and you just assume that he's a guy that's going to hit some balls out of the park. And again, I think he's a guy that the back half of the season we're going to really rely on because he gives us an extra left-handed hitter in the lineup.
Yeah, with the short porch at Haymarket, I was shocked he hadn't found the bullpen.
Yeah, he's a good hitter, and he's feeling good right now.
Looks like, I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like Gabe's kind of starting to find his stride.
He is, and we started him a couple times this weekend, and he got on base 3 times on Friday night, another hit, again, I think a double on Saturday. And he pinch hit. I think he just missed a ball. I thought he was going to hit a double or a home run, honestly, coming off the bench on Sunday. But, yeah, he's getting closer. A lot more balanced, aggressive swings from him. And, another guy that we've been talking about quite a bit this season that he's too good a hitter. He's too talented to keep down for too long, and I think it's coming for him.
It's hard when you've been at a level like he was a year ago, second-team all-conference, to knowing that you're struggling and probably knowing you had no choice but to get him out of the lineup for a while. How did he handle that dip, keeping himself kind of engaged, working on his craft in the batting cage or taking extra BP, whatever? How did he handle that?
Amazing. Yeah. Exactly like you'd hope he would. He's raised right. I mean, he's had to earn everything he's gotten in his career, and he wanted to get in there, obviously, and I think he understood too that he's got to keep the line moving when he's in there. Take his walks, even when he's not swinging it well, and move the baseball. And so he's doing that now. He's been an integral part of the offense here in the last probably 5 to 10 games, and he's a true professional about how he goes about his business. And nobody would ever say an unkind word about Gabe Swanson. I mean, he's just an amazing young man, and, success is right around the corner for him.
Great. 402-413-2400. That is our number if you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text. It's our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. They are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. A lot more with the coach coming up.
Hi, I'm Tom Osborne, former football coach and co-founder of the Teammates Mentoring Program.
And I'm Des Moines Adams, Husker Black Shirt and CEO of Teammates Mentoring.
We're recruiting Teammates mentors and need caring adults to be in the lives of our students.
Meeting with a student once a week at the school can make a positive impact in their life and have a ripple effect in our communities.
Please join our team.
Go to teammates.org today.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Woodhouse GMC is bringing you more. With every new GMC purchase from Woodhouse, we're including 3 years of scheduled maintenance. Plus, with our current lease offers going on now, you'll save even more. Lease a 2024 GMC Terrain SLE for $397 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year. $0 due at signing. Woodhouse GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit, must finance with GM Financial. Must currently lease a 2019 or newer Buick or GMC vehicle to qualify. Offer expires April 30th, 2024. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus 1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Husker head baseball coach Will Bolt with us till the top of the hour. You want to be a part of it with a call or a text, 402-413-2400. Huskers coming off the weekend series with Rutgers, and now the next 8 at home. That's got to be nice, having a nice little 2-week period. You don't have to travel.
Yeah, no, it was, like you said, it was a long week of travel this past week with the bus trip to Kansas and then the long plane ride. So, yeah, just being at home in front of our home crowds and again, some really good opponents and hopefully some warmer weather as we start to get into the month of April.
It's great here this weekend.
Yeah.
It was 80 here, and now they're saying maybe in the 50s next week. Denny in Omaha just said, Coach, your thoughts on Drew Christo? What's kind of holding him back right now?
Yeah, I think we talked about it a little bit last week where, and he did a good job this week of, setting the tone in the first inning, not giving up some early runs. It hasn't been a whole lot of pitch making from him, and he's throwing strikes, but there's kind of a difference between command and control, and the pitch making is what, going into the year and in some of his best outings, that's what he's done, right? He's able to land the breaking ball in hitters' counts. He's able to mix the changeup in there as well. And his good outings, that's what he's done. And that's the kind of the formula to be successful at this level as a starting pitcher. You've got to have 3 pitches going for you. When the hitter's thinking about, it's a fastball count, you got to be able to throw another pitch for a strike. And limit the big innings. You got to eliminate the crooked numbers and make pitches out of the stretch. So he struggled at times to do that. Here recently, I mean, he's had some good outings though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's really minimized against Northwestern, and he's had some other good outings in there as well. But that's just kind of been the bugaboo there is just the 1-1 counts, right? When you can get the count to flip in your favor to 1-2. Hitters hit below 200 with 2 strikes on them, so the odds go up in your favor that you're not going to walk a guy, also when you get to a 1-2 count. So just a few too many of those. And again, he's a guy that he's got a lot of talent, and we've seen it when it's going good. He's been a Friday night type guy for us. So need to get him back just on attack. And, like I said, I mean, there's 2 really good examples at the front of our rotation of what it looks like. Of how to execute pitches at a high level, how to compete, and just go up there with a lot of confidence and conviction on the mound. And I think we'll see Drew Christo, make some adjustments and get back to being a reliable piece of our pitching staff for sure.
I thought, and I think you referenced this in the first segment, I thought your defense all weekend long was really solid.
Yeah, we made one error on the weekend, and we turned some key double plays. I mean, Red Stokes came off the bench and saved the game, and at that time in the 9th inning, made a Derek Jeter play up the middle. DC played a great shortstop, made some really good plays out in the outfield. So, yeah, I mean, we've trended in the right direction that way defensively for sure. And that's why, again, I leave the weekend going, man, it's not like we just played horrible baseball and just laid an egg. I mean, we did a lot of things well. We didn't finish on the mound.
Folks, contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. Let's head to the phone. Let's go to Lexington. And Will, good evening. Will, you're up with Coach Bolt.
Hey, Coach. Just want to ask a question about the bullpen. That Friday night game, when we're going to the bottom of the 9th with a 3-run lead, obviously it's easy to play a Monday morning quarterback, and who knows how bringing in a closer in that situation would have worked out. In hindsight, it's 2020. But just curious if that was a thought in the dugout. Was that an option to bring in a closer in that situation? Moving forward, is that something that we have the capability to do?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Thanks for the call. I think we consider Kyle Perry to be one of our closers.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got, I think, 4 saves, on the year, and he's been very, very reliable and competitive in the 9th inning in particular. I mean, we've talked about that on this show, just how his stuff plays up even more, and kind of the more pressure situations that he's in, it plays up. And so I think the move was there to bring in the guy that we wanted to be in the game, and it was the bottom of the order was coming up, and KP's been pretty reliable for us. So. He's a guy that came into the game with no walks and 12 strikeouts, or no walks and 10 strikeouts, or 11 or something like that. And so it was his first walk of the year, in the ninth inning, after he gave up a jam job, 55-mile-an-hour hit to left field from their 9-hole hitter, and then a ground ball with eyes. I mean, the guy that hit the ball, seeing eye single. He beat the shift, and it was the only ball he's hit to the right of the second base bag the entire season. So it was just a bit of unluck there. I mean, he didn't hit the ball particularly hard, but we weren't in the right place, and we've been there, in the right spot in a lot of situations. So, I think the conversations we had was that KP was exactly the guy that we wanted on the mound in that spot, and that he was going to go finish that game and suffocate the strike zone like he's done so many times at the end of games. He did it in the Northwestern game and some others, to get us some wins. So KP's a dog. He's a competitor. He wants the ball in that spot too, and that makes a big difference. And it didn't happen, and that's baseball sometimes, unfortunately.
He's got 3 saves. We'll appreciate the call. He's got 3 saves. Casey has 4. Casey came in later and pitched pretty well as that game got into the 11th inning. You've got confidence in both guys, and it's just kind of a matchup and a feel type thing, whether you feel like this is the right matchup for you at that moment. Yeah, and I guess to take it further, I think probably now if we would have done it differently, we would have let Jalen stay in the game longer, and instead of making the move that got to a point in the lineup that the middle of the order came up in the ninth. So I think that would, if I were to go back and do something differently, I certainly probably would have allowed Jalen to continue, in his outing, and instead of making that move there before KP. A couple of more text questions. Again, the number 402-413-2400. Coach, what can you do to help a pitcher that might be struggling on the mound to get them out of their slump?
Well, to me, it all goes back to just keeping it simple, and that's Coach Childress' philosophy in a nutshell anyway. And when I say that, it's get back to the basics, right? It's like, how intentful is your catch play? Are you crisp with your flat grounds? Are you crisp when you throw your changeups and your breaking balls to your partner every day? How diligent are you with your band work and taking care of your arm and some of those things? So I think your confidence comes from your preparation and how dialed in you are to that, because everybody wants the results, but and it's easy to put the work in when things are going well, and it's kind of backwards, right? When things aren't going well, it's like, well, you kind of maybe just go through the motions at times because you're like, well, I'm just not getting the results I want to get. To me, it just goes back to keeping it simple, taking care of the fundamentals, the basics, it's like studying for a test, right? I mean, if you go into a test knowing that you haven't studied all that well for it, you're not going to be that confident. But if you go into that test knowing that you've put in the work, the hours, you've got your tutoring, you've done your extra work, you're going to be super confident walking in to take that test. And so that, to me, your confidence is always going to come from preparation, because everybody's talented at this level.
Jerry in Rockport for you, Coach. A question about the usage of the DH pitcher in reference to Will. Can he be a dual role if taken out as a pitcher? Can he remain as DH? He goes, when I was coaching at the NAI level, we were able to utilize that. I'm a season ticket holder and enjoy watching your team.
Yeah, that's a good question. You can, and that's as a starter. If he's a starting pitcher, you have to designate him as the pitcher DH. So if he comes out of the game at any point in time as the pitcher, he becomes the DH at that point. But where it gets a little tricky is if he's playing first base and then you bring him into pitch, then you burn your DH at that point. So in that instance, it would have been Josh Caron would have been burned on Sunday. So yeah, if he's starting, you can certainly have him be the DH, and if he comes out of the game, he can stay in the game to hit. Dealt
with that a lot when Jake Myers was here. The days he would pitch, you wanted to keep his bat in the lineup. Yeah, my very first year coaching in junior college, I had by the end of the year, I had 19 healthy players. And so I had to utilize the DH rule quite often, because I had a bunch of guys that I was using to hit and to pitch, and so I kind of got acquainted with that. Wow. That way. John in Omaha for you, Coach. When assessing starter versus reliever, what do you look at the most? Physical abilities or their mentality?
Well, I think 3 pitches for a strike is where it starts. You know, to be a starting pitcher at this level, you've got to be able to keep the hitter off balance, and physically, it really doesn't matter what you look like as long as you can do those things, right? Now, physically, it's nice to have physicality because it allows you to withhold a large number of innings over the course of a long season. If you're going to go 80 to 100 innings. You know, if you're not physical and you're not strong, your body's got a better chance of breaking down. So those are things you take into account as well, as who's built to start, who looks like a guy that could withstand the workload. And again, it could come in different packages, but those are some things that you think about. But 3 pitches for a strike is a bare minimum for a starting pitcher.
Speaking of physical look, Mason McConaughey has that. You've got to be hearing that from scouts. They got to love that physical makeup of him.
Yeah, he's a guy that we were, lucky to get after his freshman year at Cloud County. And, he's put on a lot more good weight since he's been here. He's a late bloomer anyway when it comes to baseball. And so, he's a guy that he's got the 3 pitches for a strike going. He's got some good movement on his fastball. He's got the 2-seam and the 4-seam. He can get guys at the top of the zone with a 4-seam high-spin fastball. The 2-seamer moves arm side with a little bit of sink, and the knuckle curve is a devastating pitch, high spin on that. And then he can throw the changeup. He can throw it right on right. He can throw the changeup to left-handers. It just, he's a guy that he looks the part on the mound.
Folks, Hy-Vee, we want you to go check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for that totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy the exclusive perks on pricing on hundreds of items in-store or online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. All right, time for this week's Nebraska Lottery Trivia question. We're playing for $100 in scratch tickets from the Nebraska Lottery. If you've won this year, you're not eligible. 1 winner per household for the year. And I've gone so easy on everybody. I'm going to make this one tough this week. Riley Silva, already up to 21 stolen bases. Who was the last Husker to have more than 20 stolen bases in a year? If you know the right answer, fire off the text, 402-413-2400. We'll tell you if we got a winner when we come back.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail-Tamin 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Don't miss out on limited-time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
Husker fans, it's baseball season, and your Nebraska baseball team wants to see you at Haymarket Park. Season tickets, diamond deals, and single game tickets are on sale now. Get your tickets today and help the Huskers show everyone in the country why there is no place like Nebraska. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Experience personalized service and exceptional deals at Woodhouse Lincoln. With cutting-edge technology and incredible design, Woodhouse Lincoln is the place to find your next luxury vehicle. Lease a 2024 Lincoln Aviator for $759 a month for 39 months, 10,500 miles per year. Or purchase with 2.9% APR for 36 months. With approved credit, security deposit waived. Stock L240075. $5,000 down payment plus first payment and $299 fee due at site. Offer expires 4/30/2024. See dealer for details.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Boy, I told you I ratcheted up the difficulty of the trivia question. We do have a winner. Sam in Omaha got the right name, but Coach was trying to guess along with us, and you were throwing out a lot of the same names that a lot of our listeners were earlier. This one was tough because you have to go back a long ways. You were guessing Hallmark. Pretty good. He was close, I think.
Yeah.
But was that the year we didn't play as many games?
Yeah, that was, so I think he had like probably 17 or 18, and that was in 2021 where we had the 44-game conference-only season. And you just try to go back through the Ryan Bolts and the Jake Myers and some of those where, I'm trying to think of some guys that I coached in 2012 to 2014, and I know one name that I never thought of was Mike Pritchard. That would never cross my mind that he could steal 20 bases. If you're listening, Mike, love you.
He's somewhere talking.
Yeah, but then we ended up going all the way back to 05. And I remember that Alex did have 20 stolen bases and that amazing Golden Spikes year.
Alex Gordon. 2005, 23. Your name got mentioned, and you had 18, I think, one year.
I think I looked into 18. I think I got thrown out a few times that year, too. But, never could get to 20.
Well, congratulations, Sam in Omaha, the winner of $100 in scratch tickets for the Nebraska Lottery. We'll play again next Monday night. How do you feel about your base running to this point in time?
Pretty solid. We stole 9 bases this weekend. And another statistical anomaly there where, you hit 5 home runs, you steal 9 bases, and, you don't win the series. It's hard to do. But, Yeah, it's been pretty good. I mean, you know, Riley already having as many as he has, and now Brumball that he's playing every day, starting to rack some up, and Overbeek and some of those guys. And still think we could, you know, push the envelope at times on the dirt ball reads. I think we've left some of those out there. Sunday in particular, I thought we had one that we could have gotten. And those are little things in the game that you keep track of. Those are winning plays, you know. So I think it's been pretty solid, especially since early on. There were a couple of miscues just from being back out there for the first time in live game settings. That we've done a nice job, and we've taken the extra base when we can, and you know, we're setting up a lot of innings because of our base running.
Do you have a certain coach that's in charge of that, or do you all kind of rotate with that?
Coach Harvell is kind of heads that up. I mean, Coach Sirianni does a lot more work in the cages with the swing and the hitting. Coach Harvell is more of the offensive coordinator, so to speak. And then on game days when we get a lot of live reads in batting practice, particularly early in the season. Now, as the season goes along, we try to take those reps a little lighter just because the guys are, you know, you're into the games a lot, and they put an awful lot into playing. So you try to take care of their legs. But so we'll coach it on game day as well, just some of those little intricacies of when to tag, when not to tag, you know, what balls to push the envelope on, and those type of things.
It's a huge part of the game, and you knew that going in, that this team was going to have to probably do more of that than last year.
Yeah, and I think we've done a pretty good job of that. Like I said, I mean, we've set up a lot of scoring opportunities because of our aggressive nature on the bases, and you know, it's one of those things where, you know, when you're catching some breaks, you're putting pressure on the defense because they've got to think about some things, and you know, those are things that they come in waves too, right? The big hits, and you know, I think we got some of those coming here.
Andy in Phoenix says, "Hey, Coach, we are still excited for this team here in the desert. My brother Adam is deployed in the Middle East and gets down when the boys don't play well, but please tell him to stay on board." Thanks, Coach. Don't get down. We're fighting.
No, we are. Yeah, like I said, tough week, but, you know, I try to look, you know, I certainly understand from a fan's perspective, when you don't win, you're not happy, and certainly no one's more you know, our players and our coaches, you know, put an awful lot into it. But I'm looking at it, you know, from the perspective of how did we play? You know, how did we play? And we didn't play bad baseball this weekend. We just didn't win. And so I think if we can continue to play a good brand of baseball, you know, more often than not, we're going to come out with good results.
402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text. Ben from Emerson says, "Coach, does the catcher wearing an earpiece correlate with the pitch clock? Obviously, it's a quicker way to get the sign to the pitcher." I was discussing it with my dad yesterday, and we couldn't give him a straight answer.
So prior to the pitch clock, we would have the catcher, we would give the sign to the catcher through the earpiece as far as what pitch was coming. Now we give the sign to multiple players at one time with technology on a wristband, which now a lot of folks have the pitch comm, which they use in the big leagues, where it's in the hat, and it actually speaks to you, you know, in your hat. There's some schools that have that, but we have the wristband, and we have it. Our shortstop, second baseman, first baseman, catcher, pitcher, and center fielder have the wristband, so they all know what pitch is coming. So that's how we get. Coach Childress has the pitches called on it's a small keypad with numbers on them. And he can put number of looks at second base on there. He can put pick plays on there. What we use the Bluetooth earpiece for is really just communication to the catcher, making him aware of certain situations, first and third plays, bunt plays, those type of things. That's what we communicate with our catcher for.
Interesting how much technology has been added to the sport just in the last decade, right? It's crazy.
It's a totally different game in that way, right? With just the technology, the pitch clock. It needed to happen, though. Mm-hmm. I think it needed to happen from, especially in the college game where the catchers are mostly not calling their own game, where it's coming from the dugout. Boy, there were some games where it would take forever for the coaches to call the pitches and call the picks and call the, you know, it just was really, really dragging on. The pace of play was suffering because of it, and you know, some of the advances in technology have allowed the pace of play to be where it needs to be, quite honestly.
I think some programs have struggled with that. I don't think Nebraska necessarily did. I think you guys have always kind of wanted to play with tempo.
Yeah, we have. I mean, we want our pitchers to work fast. I mean, heck, we don't even throw the ball around the horn after a strikeout because we want the ball back in the pitcher's hands, him right back on the mound, and and no waste of time there.
Sarpy County, where great food, drink, shopping, concerts, and fun await you. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com. You take our final break. Still time if you want to be a part of the program. 402-413-2400. Back with some final thoughts from the coach next.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Husker fans, it's baseball season, and your Nebraska baseball team wants to see you at Haymarket Park. Season tickets, diamond deals, and single game tickets are on sale now. Get your tickets today and help the Huskers show everyone in the country why there is no place like Nebraska. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation is known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L Irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new, it's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
Hey, Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks, pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Final few minutes with the coach. Let's head to the phone. Let's go to West Point and Husker Dan. Good evening, Dan. You're up with Coach Bolt.
Hey, Greg. How you doing?
Good.
Coach Bolt?
Hey, Dan.
Hey. Awesome. Hey, I was down in Lincoln. We got, me and a buddy of mine got to see Brett Sears. Wow, lights out. That was a fun game to watch. He was just, you could just see him. He was just focused, and I just love that demeanor. And I'm glad you kept him in there to finish the game. You know, that was just cool. It wasn't a lot of offensive runs and stuff like that, but you know what? I'll take a win. But that was fun to be there, and it was, and the weather was good. Hey, my other thing is too, Coach Bolt. You probably don't know this, but Greg and Ben doing games. You probably don't listen to them on the radio a whole lot, broadcasting the games. And I just want to put a feather in Greg and Ben's hat, saying I wouldn't want anybody else doing these games for Husker baseball. I turn TVs down. When they're on the TV, I turn it down. I know they're ahead of the TV, but I don't care. They do a great job, and And Greg, just I don't know what. I hope you can do this forever, because I don't know who else can do it, because you and Ben, and I know there's another guy in there, Gustafson guy kind of fills in, but I don't know what else to say, because Coach Bolt, don't let them guys go.
Hey, Dan, I don't get to listen to their broadcast, but I am adamant. Number one, I was adamant during COVID that they travel with us, because that was because they're part of the team. I mean, those guys they bleed with us, when we lose, and they're right there with us, cheering us on, in the good moments. And but I'm also adamant that when we show video highlights, I want the background of their calls, because they're just so. It just makes the drama that much more, for those scenarios and those situations. And couldn't agree more. Love those guys to death. They do an amazing job, and they're part of the team, just like the rest of the guys.
Dane, you're too kind. Appreciate it. Thank you very much from the call. Let's go to Grand Island next. And Tom, hello, Tom. You're up with the head coach.
Hi, how you doing tonight? Hi, Coach.
Hey, Tom.
I got a comment and a couple updates on Grand Island players. Do you get a chance to watch any Grand Island games?
Yeah, we've seen some Grand Island games. Now, not this spring in particular, probably. Although I don't know, I can't speak for all the games that the guys have seen. But yeah, we certainly keep tabs on the GI guys.
You got some Grand Island guys on the team?
Yep.
Yeah.
Does Colin Nelson is a left-hander?
Now, Coach can't talk about.
And he's going to Cloud County. He's got a scholarship there.
Tom, Coach can't talk about high school players. Yeah. Coach can't talk about high school players. That's an NCAA rules violation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other one was Barrientos. He's a junior this year. He is really good. He hits about 500. So I've got a comment about Riley.
Okay. Let's hear it.
I think he should stay at the number 2 spot in the lineup, because the main reason is he's a setup man, not a clutch man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. We've kind of gone back and forth there. He's hitting the 2-hole. He's hitting the 9-hole. When he was swinging the bat great, it made perfect sense to leave him in the 2-hole because his at bat. I mean, the guys at the top obviously get up more than anybody else in the game, he hasn't been as consistent offensively, as really even with his bunting at times, he hasn't been quite as consistent with the bunting. So we moved him down in the order a couple of times for that. But I don't disagree with you. When Riley is going, our offense is probably at its best when Brumbaugh and Silva hit back to back in the order.
Tom, appreciate the phone call. One last text. Carlo, in the last minute, Coach wants to know if there's any current players that resembles your style of play or maybe one of your teammates.
I don't want to put that on any one of my current players. I would like to think that, again, I've been pretty adamant about this, that there's a certain style of play that Husker fans want to see, and that's hard-nosed, blue-collar, dirtbag baseball where your uniform's dirty and you're going to do whatever it takes to win. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that that's how I played every day. I hated to lose more than I like to win, and that's what we try to instill in our players.
Very good. 4 home games. Let's go get some wins.
Let's do it.
There he is, head coach of the Cornhuskers, Will Bull, with us here tonight. Huskers and Blue Jays tomorrow, 6:05 first pitch. Our pregame coverage begins at 5:30 tomorrow night. We have another hour of Sports Alley coming up on the other side. Come on back. Have some fun with us.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.
People count on you to buckle up. Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Earlier today, Husker pitcher Mason McConaughey was named Big Ten Pitcher of the Week. McConaughey improved to 4-2 on the season with his 7-inning, 9-strikeout performance against Rutgers last Saturday. It's the second week in a row that Nebraska has had the Big Ten Pitcher of the Week, as Brett Sears won the award last week. Nebraska basketball received their second transfer of the season earlier today. Utah grad transfer Raleigh Worcester. Worcester, a 6'4" point guard, has 1 season of eligibility remaining. He has been a fixture in the Utah lineup before suffering a lower leg injury in early January. He averaged just under 10 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists prior to the injury. The WNBA draft is tonight. Caitlin Clark was selected first overall by the Indiana Fever. In ESPN's latest mock draft, former Husker Jazz Shelley is projected to be picked 22nd overall in the second round by the Connecticut Sun. The draft can be watched on ESPN. Finally, a couple of Major League Baseball scores tonight on Jackie Robinson Day. One game already final as the Guardians beat the Red Sox 6-0. Currently, the Orioles lead the Twins 4-2 in the 5th inning. The Royals and White Sox are scoreless in the 2nd. The Blue Jays lead the Yankees 2-1 in the 3rd, and the Rockies and Phillies are tied at 1 in the 6th. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Lifted to right, and drifting over near the line is Williams, and looking up, and it is gone! Wind blows it right out of here. It's a grand slam for Will Walsh. It's 5-0 Big Red.
With Ravel as Andrews swings and lifts it right field and deep. Riano going back to the wall. It's gone! Home run, Billy Andrews! And that's the new record. She is the all-time home run queen at the University of Nebraska.
Now the 2-2 from Sears. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 7 will end the 8th inning for Brett Sears, and he has gone 8 innings here on a Saturday afternoon.
The pitch from Chambers. Cope golfs one to center and deep. Going back Delgadillo, and it's gone! 3-run home run, Emerson Cope. Make it 5-2 Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
And we're here back for Hour 2 Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Hope you enjoyed Hour 1 with Coach Bull. Cole, we need to get Husker Dan's address so I can send him the check for saying those nice things. To meet to end Hour 1. We certainly appreciate that. Hey, how you doing? How's your day?
Good. It's warming up, so you know me. I love it.
You and I we snuck in and watched some football practice on Saturday, and I think I got a little sunburn sitting out there.
I think there were a few people that did.
Yeah,
we were talking about that.
My forehead got a little red. I'm like, whoa, gotta get out of the sun.
It was finally the sun was out and it felt good, so I'm not complaining. And there was not a lot of wind out there either.
No.
I know it was a little bit windy today, but on Saturday it was
gorgeous.
It was perfect.
Well, we deserve that. I've not yet, I think Cole did, I've not seen the forecast for next Saturday.
I need to.
Because that's our spring game. We're 11 days out. How about that?
I feel like, I don't know. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and I said, I feel like spring football has been longer this year than normal, and I think it's because the spring break didn't break it up.
True.
So, which normally, and even when I was at Oklahoma, they did that.
You had a week and then a week off.
It was split.
Yeah.
But I know that was one thing that Coach Rule wanted to do. He didn't want to split it up, but then also push back the spring game, which normally leads right up to it. So if you have that, pushing it back a little bit later and hopefully have some better weather. But I don't know. It seems like we've been doing spring football for a while. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Over 50,000 tickets have been sold, so a lot still available if you want to come, make your plans. And now, we're inside of 2 weeks. The forecast may not be dead accurate, but it's going to be kind of close, I would think. So hopefully we have decent weather for that and seats available for you to come and watch the Huskers. Get kind of whet your appetite a little bit before the fall gets here for this team.
I just pulled it up. So Saturday the 27th currently is 77 degrees, but it says watch for a strong thunderstorm in the morning. Sunny to partly cloudy.
We don't want to hear that.
So,
we don't,
but 77.
In my time here, we had a spring game canceled because of a thunderstorm.
Really?
They didn't play it. They had all the concession stands full, right? Because you stock your concession. So they're giving away runs as people were walking out of the store. We're like,
what else are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
We're
We're not playing the game. We got to get rid of these. They're all sitting. We got thousands of runs sitting here. So
well, that can change in 11 days, but
true.
At least it does look a little bit warmer.
Yeah. That'll be crazy that we're getting close to that. The Huskers did not practice today. They will practice tomorrow. The head coach will meet with the media tomorrow. We do not have a show tomorrow night. We can maybe recap some of that for you on Wednesday. There was a moment you and I were at practice, and he wasn't real happy.
No.
He got a little agitated with his team.
Look, the standard has been set, and when they don't meet that standard, they're going to challenge them.
Right.
They're not going to let them continue to not strive for that standard. And so it has been very clear the three practices that I've been out to, and then again on Saturday, that we're going to do things right, and we're going to do things how we expect around here. You know, a lot of it too was I think maybe at times some of those veterans, they're holding out, which we've talked about all spring. You don't want to do that with some of those guys.
Right.
So some of the offensive line were sitting out, some of the defensive line, but still, I think that is how you build the culture that what Matt Rule does is even when those guys that have been through this before, that do know what to expect, even when they're on the sideline, that those next 2 and 3s and 4s, they're doing it. They're being held to the same standard, and that's how you continue to put in place what Coach Rule wants to put in place here is, hey, I don't care that, whoever starter's not out here, we're going to do it how we know we're supposed to do it. And so, he challenged them, and I think they'll take a lot away. It'll be interesting to see how he feels about how they build off of it going into the second practice. Because it usually gets a lot better, right, between the first and second scrimmage.
Yeah, and they will scrimmage again this Saturday, and then obviously they'll finish it up on the 27th with the spring game. They did have a bunch of recruits on campus for the weekend and got a couple of commitments. It had been, I think, since August. So the last commitment for the Huskers for this class coming up this next year, 2 wide receivers, Jackson Carpenter from right here in Lincoln, going to Lincoln Southwest, and Bryson Hayes, a wide receiver from Mays, Kansas, down by Wichita. So a couple of guys who run really well. I think that's kind of a common theme. They continue to look for speed, guys that run well. I think they feel like we can coach them in the other areas. We can't coach speed.
Yeah.
Have speed, we'll deal with that.
Absolutely, and that's what Searles brought up the other day that I thought was a pretty good point, that, when you talk about building the offensive line, you got a lot of work to do. Like Jalen Lloyd came in fast. Malachi Coleman, the skills that they have came in, it translates immediately.
Yeah.
And so that is where you can get guys that can contribute right away and that are they're just so hard to defend, that speed. But the other 2 things, especially for the Lincoln kid, you're continuing to see the emphasis on the home state kids and the legacies.
Yep.
So, which we've heard from the start is that they want to bring the legacies and those home state. They want to protect the borders here. So, hey, there's another Nebraska kid that's signed up.
So 2 additions to again, these are just commitments, but this is the class that would sign in the early period in December. And you kind of want some momentum. You kind of want April to be a good day or good month for you to kind of build some momentum heading into the spring. And so I know they felt good about that. And they put the full court press on these kids when they're here. They get them on campus. They love them to watch practice. In fact, I'm sure Coach Rule liked the fact that they saw him get spirited. I think he probably liked the fact that these guys saw, I'm going to coach you hard, and I expect the best out of you every day. She probably liked that message being sent.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and you also love when kids see that and still hey, what you see is what you're going to get here. We're not going to, and I can't tell you how many times I've talked to recruits that have said that, especially in the last year, that why do you believe in it? Because they're real and they are not just giving you a pitch. And a lot of times that's what it is. They're giving you a sales job that is not how it's going to be when you get on campus, but that's not the case of this coaching staff. They're going to be absolutely real with you, and when you come out to practice, they want you to get in there and see how you're going to be coached, and they want you to fully know what it is that you're signing up for when you come to Nebraska, because there's, like I said, the standard, the culture, all of that, and so they make sure that it's hey, we're not going to put sunshine and rainbows on it while you're here. This is how we coach our guys, and it's because we want to get the best out of them.
Well, football wasn't the only one that did some damage over the weekend on the recruiting front. Camden had a couple of these in the ticker. Husker women's basketball has dipped into the transfer portal. Alberti Rimdahl, I think I got that right. She's from Denmark. She's been playing with the Florida Gators. She has transferred to Nebraska, averaged a little over 7 points a game, 32% three-point shooter. She played in 30 games for the Gators. Nebraska has had a connection to that Florida program with one of their current assistant coaches. Didn't know how active Coach Williams would be, and I don't think she'll be overly active, but they must like this young lady enough to kind of bring her in, 5'8" kind of guard type, and just, you lose Darian White, so maybe another kind of older player to add to your program.
Yeah, and this is someone that's played a lot of ball at Florida, has been playing since she was a freshman, has been pretty much in the starting lineup, I think the last 2 seasons, pretty much a staple there for the Gators, and a guard that can do a little bit of everything, which is what Amy Williams likes, and Julian Asibe, who just came from Florida, who is the assistant coach now, and he's got a feel for what kind of guards would fit this program. He is the one that really locked in Darian White, because he was previously had recruited and was on the staff with Darian White's previous school. Where did she come from?
Montana State.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, he kind of knew what kind of fit that would be, and so certainly you have a good feeling that he knows what kind of fit she would be with what this team needs, and they utilize those guards a lot, so I think probably you'll see maybe hopefully another big player, a post, because I think they would maybe target 2 or 3 maybe in the portal this year. I think that's what's open right now, and with the Ani Stewart leaving, and then just again having that depth on the bench behind Natalie Potts and Alexis Markowski, and
I like Petrie too.
And Jess Petrie, yes. But, just they kind of all play. When you
Yeah.
have 2 on the floor together sometimes. So just, again, building that depth, but to get another, another post player in that depth rotation would be big as well.
So congratulations to Amy Williams. Again, Alberti Rimdahl from Denmark. She's played some international basketball for her home country as well. That's always, you love that kind of international experience. Fred Hoiberg has added an addition to his team, as Raleigh Worcester from Utah is now a Cornhusker, a point guard, and as Camden mentioned, he got hurt in January, didn't finish the year. Numbers were okay. Now, here's a little sidebar on this. Nebraska scrimmaged Utah this past October, that super secret scrimmage. It was the Utes that were here. Nebraska's going to go there next year, but they would have got a chance to see him, and I'm sure, maybe he made an impression on Coach Hoiberg or one of the assistant coaches on the staff. So there's an addition. Shooting numbers were okay. I still think more shooters are needed to be added, and they certainly have openings to add to it. But Raleigh is now the second guy to come into Nebraska's program. We announced the Morgan kid last week. In fact, there was a press release today with quotes from Fred Hoiberg about Morgan coming from North Dakota State to become a Cornhusker. So that's 2 now for Fred's staff, and they still have more to add. And they had Gavin Griffiths from Rutgers, really like him. 6'8" guy was in over the weekend. And then Igor Milicic, who is from Charlotte, would have played with Bryce. 6'11" guy. That kind of a guy that can shoot the ball from the perimeter. Fred loves those kind of players. He was here as well. He's still going to go take visits, though, to Tennessee and Baylor. So some big schools in on him. But starting to have a little movement here.
And I think you needed some depth at the point guard spot, right? With Jamarcus gone and, losing some of those guys that maybe you would have relied on. And we still don't know for sure about Aaron Eulis, right?
No, we don't.
And so...
Feel good about it.
Yes, and I think they felt good about it, and they love what he's done in practice. He was a great teammate throughout all last season, so you feel good about it, but it's still not certain. But you need backup at that point guard spot, So just to have another versatile guard that you can rely on, maybe to bring the ball up, and has played a lot of basketball. And I fully believe in now that Coach Hoiberg knows what kind of fit he needs. And it's not just about what you bring as a basketball player. It's not just about how you score it. It's what you do on the defensive end. That's just became so important to what this team did. But then also, how are you going to fit into what's in that locker room and that culture inside the locker room? And so I think they've got a really good feel for that now. And so you got to believe that, so far these 2 guys are going to be those types. And Frankie Fiddler, I saw that he pushed back his decision.
Yeah, he delayed it.
So we don't know about him either.
Yeah. So Andrew Morgan in, that's the big center from North Dakota State, and now Raleigh Worcester in from Utah, played for the Utes. Worcester.
Wally.
Yeah. Like that. Gavin Griffiths, that's a guy. I'm telling you what, if we get Gavin Griffiths, I might do a little happy dance in the studio, because I really like him a lot.
So you just kept like pleading and waiting for good news, and now you're overflowing with it.
It's popping right now. Well, happy tax day, everybody. Hope you got your taxes if you owed money, which I did. So hope you got that mailed off today. Tomorrow opens the portal for the second time for college football. Now to the end, starting tomorrow to the end of the month, so you have about 2-week period of time, guys can enter the portal. I think there'll probably be some Huskers that will do that. Maybe they'll wait till the spring game to come and go, but here we go again. I don't know that these sports need 2 of these a year. I kind of think that's a little overdone, but look out. We're probably going to hear a bunch of names popping with football starting tomorrow.
Yeah, and across the country. It's going to be inevitable, and it's just the day and age that we're in, right? I thought this was pretty interesting. We'll see, because it's just not something that you normally see in the portal, but Searles thought maybe if there were some O-linemen that might be a target for this group. Just again, trying to build some depth with some veteran guys. You got some good young talent, but to be able to have that depth that you need there on the front, and maybe try to get, which they got the guy from Florida, but maybe try to add 1 or 2 more guys if you can that have that experience at this level.
Always wants more.
I know. He's always. Of course, it's not surprising that that's what he would say.
We could call DB and he's like, we need more running backs. Man, those guys are married to their positions, right?
True.
They just are. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. It could get by. I even saw some names went in today, or people indicated they were going to throw their name into the portal starting tomorrow. So here we go for the next 2 weeks. And honestly, I think that's one of the reasons Coach Rural kind of pushed spring ball back. He didn't really want a lot of time for his guys to maybe jump into the portal. If they stay here through the 27th of April, that's a pretty quick turnaround by May 1st to get your name thrown in the hat. So we'll see. Hey, our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Did you get to watch the Masters at all for the weekend?
I did. Scotty Scheffler's just on another level. This
Clearly.
is all while expecting another kid.
Clearly the number 1 player, right?
It's no doubt. So I thought I asked this question. Is this day and age, these golfers now, because where's Jordan Spieth? Where's some of these guys that we heard about for so long? When they were dominating, is now this group like a Scotty Scheffler and these guys that are coming in, are they that much better, or have the other guys slipped down?
Seems like it, right?
I feel like this group is just that much. They're just, they're unbelievable.
I mean,
like the Colin Morikawa, Scotty Scheffler, just like they're those names that now you're seeing, and just Scotty's just absolutely dominating. There's nobody on his level right now.
I don't think so. And he won the Players a month ago. He wins the Masters. And I love his demeanor. I really do. I mean, it's hard. How do you not like the guy? He's a good guy. He's a centered person, and his game is just. I hate his footwork. That's maybe my biggest. His feet are moving all over the place. You're not supposed to be able to do that and hit a golf ball.
Yeah, one of the guys that were called it the Texas two-step after he made a big swing. But yeah, if he's not winning, he's in the hunt, or he's right there in the top of the field in every tournament that he plays right now.
It's crazy. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Hard to do that.
I was hoping for some dramatics down the stretch, but he ended up pulling away. So that was the only thing. There was
no drama. The last hour was drama-free.
Yeah. It was kind of fun because it was close most of the way, but then he pulled away. But I was hoping for maybe a playoff, some late game dramatics, but there wasn't at all.
Did not happen. Another guy that wants more running backs, Crypto King.
Of course.
Yeah.
He's a fullback.
Give me more running backs. More running backs. All right, 402-413-2400. Here's what we have on the program for the hour. We're going to hear from Husker lineman Ben Scott, another one of those guys that Nebraska is limiting with reps right now. Ben's played an awful lot of college football. You know what you have there, so maybe you don't let him get worn down too much here in the spring. But we'll hear from big old Ben coming up here in a little bit. I think Ben Scott's name, a year from now, we'll be hearing him on draft boards. I think he's that kind of player for the Cornhuskers. We also have our weekend winners. We might have one from the Masters, I would guess, coming up later on in the hour. But again, 402-413-2400. Back with more of the show coming up.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sap Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sap Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sap Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sap Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sap Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sap Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Not much can be counted on these days, especially getting timely rains. However, having a T&L irrigation system gives you water on demand. This is an insurance policy you pay for once and cash in time and time again. Perfect for all irrigators, T&L irrigation systems don't require complicated, expensive, and dangerous high-voltage electricity. They're driven continuously forward by hydrostatic drives. Take some uncertainty out of farming with an intuitive hydrostatic-powered T&L system. Visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night. Hope you had a great weekend. Sure nice. The weather warmed up. I saw so many people out doing yard work. The parks were busy. The golf courses, I'm sure, were busy over the weekend. Finally, some really good weather around here. All right, Huskers are not concerned at all about the center position. Ben Scott came in last year from Arizona State, really locked that position down, played good football in the Big Ten, and decided to come back for another year, much to the delight of the Husker coaching staff. Jessica had a chance to stop and catch up with Big Ben.
Here with Ben Scott. Well, over halfway through this thing now. How's spring ball going for the O-line?
It's going pretty good, you know. That was our 8th practice in, and I think we're all meshing pretty good and working hard and competing every day, so it's working out good.
Your second year now, but everybody said it felt like you'd been here for 10 years already, the way you fit in immediately. But how has it felt different this spring, going through this with this group and Coach Raiola for the second time?
Oh, just basically having all the guys, most of the guys back and being in the same offense for the second spring, it feels so much better. I think we're miles ahead of where we were last spring, and I think that it's just building on it every day and just getting better. Like all the little stuff now is key.
You were a little banged up at the end of the last season. How are you feeling health-wise?
Oh, I feel great. I think 8 practices in, and I feel amazing. You know, we're going out there competing, so it feels good.
What does that do for an offensive line group going into spring ball, that there are so many guys that have played so many snaps together?
Oh, it's great. You know, you play with so many different guys and so many lineups, rotating guys in and here and there, because, you know, it's just spring. We're trying to figure out everyone's strength and work on all of our weaknesses. So it feels good having guys rotating in and knowing that they know what they're doing and that they can play ball.
We saw Justin Evans come in last year for you a couple times. He moved around on the line. How has he been this spring, moving into even a bigger role for you guys?
Oh, yeah, he's basically a veteran now. Like, we're all just treating him like a veteran. He's no longer a young guy. And, you know, he's capable of being really, really good. And, you know, you saw him last season go in there and, do really good in the games. And seeing him at left guard and coming in for center, and he's just a dog. You know, he goes in there and does his thing.
That versatility for you guys, being able to move guys in and out, how important is that? How much is that something that Coach Raiola wants to be able to move guys around wherever it's needed?
Yeah, versatility in our O-line room is great, and I think that we all pride ourselves on playing multiple positions and being moved around like that. And it's important because guys get banged up all the time, and maybe someone's not doing that good, so they get moved around. And, yeah, it's important to have backups and guys that can play multiple positions.
Some of those young, well, they were true freshmen last year. Now they're moving into year 2. How have those guys come along? Guys like Gunner and Sam and all those guys.
Oh, yeah, you know, they're year 1s under their belt, so they're in year 2 and they're hitting it striding. So, you know, this is Gunner's second spring. I think the other guys is their first. So Gunner is hitting it and going, and all the other guys are hitting it too. So I think they're all doing pretty good.
You know, one of the things that's been talked about this O-line group was that you guys are coaching each other up, holding each other accountable, teaching. For an O-line to continue to grow and be where you want to be, how vital is that as a group that you guys can do that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think it's important, especially since we have so many veteran guys on the O-line. It's important that we help the younger guys out, because coach can only see so much sometimes. And, like, if we see it during the drill, like, we'll coach them up right then and there so they know that the next rep, like, what they need to work on. And that's important, you know, like, if you see something in practice in a drill and you coach them up there, then in the competition periods, then they'll fix it. So instead of waiting until the afternoon meetings, which is nice.
I talked to all the quarterbacks last week, and the 2 young guys, the 2 freshmen, all alluded to how helpful it's been to have guys like you in front of them, the veteran guys. What role have you guys tried to take on in helping getting those freshmen acclimated to college football?
Oh, it's great. You know, you see them coming in. We do QC exchange. We're always motivating each other over there, and just, like, helping out with, like, the calls and, like, the alerts and the protection stuff. And, you know, Coach GT is getting them right, too, with the protections. He's coaching them up on that one. And I think that you don't see that too often in a lot of quarterbacks in college, knowing protection. So I think that's good that GT is getting them right with that.
How much do you guys put that on yourselves to, hey, we got to help these guys out. They're trying to learn and get acclimated to this thing?
Yeah, you know, the quarterbacks, they have a lot on their plate, so it's important for, you know, the old linemen, we get in the huddle, we're like, okay, man, relax, you know, it's good, like, you know, and just helping them out with, like, certain calls and stuff and checks. So, you know, it's doing good.
All right, I know you guys are going to get healthy in the running back room, but it seems like you got some talent there. How much fun is it to block so far this spring for the running backs you guys got out there?
Oh, it's amazing. You know, we got Dante, Emmett, and the other week I was with Maurice Mazuka, and he was having himself a good week. So, you know, it's fun seeing those guys when you're blocking your butt off for 6+ seconds and you see a running back sprint through there and truck a safety. That's like one of the best feelings ever, seeing them put their head down and take one. So I love seeing that. You know, the depth is just so important. You talked about it on the O-line, the running back room. How critical is that building that here in the spring so that you have enough bodies come the fall? Yeah, I think it is important. You know, we're just trying to build everyone and seeing, you know, who wants it more pretty much. You know, we're all getting a fair shot, and everyone's got to get one better every day. Helps, though, to have those backups, or, you know, when you have that depth, that when people can step up and it's next man up and you don't lose a beat, right? Yeah, I mean, we hold everyone to the same standard, so, and we're just trying to raise that standard every day, so, you know, it shouldn't be too much of a drop-off if someone else goes in. You guys talked a lot last year about going up against this defense in practice. How has it been here in the spring now that they're in year 2 under Tony White? You know, going against this defense for a whole year, it got me so much ready for this spring now. It's so much better knowing like their tendencies and like what they're doing and stuff now. So, oh, it's so much better. I love it. They're building though, right? I mean, it seems like they're pretty hungry to raise the standard as well. Oh yeah, you know, Coach T. White, he never stops. He's always trying to figure out new ways to attack an offense and new ways to bring us back. So, you know, we still stay on our toes, but you know, it's a lot easier now that we know some of their tendencies and stuff. All right, last thing I got for you. What's the goal for the offensive line here? Where do you guys want to be when you close this spring football chapter? We just want to be able to finish dudes every play and block to the end of the whistle and a little bit more sometimes, you know? Love it. Appreciate your time. Thank you. Gotta love that. And you know the big dog loves that. Finish guys every time and sometimes even a little more through the whistle. But, you know, he was big last year and even was hurt in and out throughout a lot of last season, but anytime you got a center coming back, it's just huge. So huge. Yeah. So he's definitely a leader in that group, and I love what he said too about going up against this defense. Because I remember talking to the offensive players last year, they're like, "What the heck is going on?"
We don't know where they are.
But now that they go up against it every day, they maybe know it a little bit better than most when they're about to play it, but it's still pushing them. It seems like both sides are saying how much they're getting better every single day by facing one another, especially, you know, that O-line, D-line. They got a lot of veterans up there that are battling it out.
They sure do. And, you know, we've talked about that some of the things he's not taking all the snap. That's great because Justin Evans gets those reps, and he's kind of going to be the next guy coming through that. That's perfect to give him all those reps here in the spring.
Well, and he just said it, too, about how good Justin has been because he's moving in from – and I talked to him even before that interview a little bit, just kind of breaking down, okay, so – right now, Justin's at guard a lot of times, but then when Ben goes out, he's the center, so he's going back and forth. But how much he's improved, and how good was he last year when he got called upon, and just to have someone that's versatile that can move around if need be. But you certainly feel good if you need to call on him in the backup. You certainly feel comfortable with Justin Evans. I think he's really coming along, and Ben was just really bragging on him.
And you know the name that keeps kind of popping up? They moved Ruquan Buckley from defense to offense. His name pops up every now and then. Different coaches and players mention how well he's doing in there. That's good.
You're talking about a big body.
That's a big old defensive tackle that's now playing on the offensive side of the ball. And haters, an awful lot of young guys. Grant Brooks, I think, is making an impact. Gibson Piles doing some good things. I think that the future for that room is really bright.
I really do. I think so. And how many times have we talked about this ad nauseum with Searles about just building that O-line group, and they certainly didn't have the depth that they wanted, and Coach Roll addressed that right away, and it takes a minute. It takes a couple seasons to really build that, and so you're having guys that are now entering year 2, some of them their first spring, because not all of them were here. And then, you know, just there's a lot of progress that is made really from the end of your freshman year until the start of the season next year. So just even what we're seeing now, there's a lot of growth that can still be made with these young offensive linemen throughout the rest of spring, throughout the summer, and into fall camp. So I think you're just going to see those guys continue to grow. But there's some young talent in there that when you talk about building and continuing to reload an offensive line room, those are the guys that you want to have in that room.
Coach Rowe kept mentioning all last spring and even in the fall, he goes, we're low on numbers. We've got to get the numbers up in that room. And I think with the recruiting class, some of them are here, some of them are not here yet. But I think they feel like they're closer. They want 18, 19 in that room. Scholarship guys in that room. I think they're getting close. So,
yeah, but it's just hard to ask those young guys to play right away. So even though you're building those numbers, you still might not have the depth that you want for a couple years. So it's a work in progress, but they're certainly making a lot of progress. And I think they're pretty excited about a lot of those guys in that room.
You're playing against grown men in the Big Ten. And if you're an 18-year-old and you're used to pushing kids around on the high school field, that's a totally different thing.
Oh, yeah.
Totally
Absolutely,
different thing.
Yep.
Good stuff. Good to hear from Big Ben there. What else? Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. All right, 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be part of the program with a call or a text. When we come back, we're going to jump into some weekend winners. I got a lot on my list because everybody takes mine usually week after week, but I got a bunch. We'll get into that next.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealers, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. We're monitoring the WNBA draft. We believe Jazz Shelley will go tonight. They just wrapped round one. Some of the mocks have her going toward the end of round two. I don't think we'll get to that stage by the time we get off the air here tonight. But kind of fun, cool night for her. I hope it works well for her.
And this continues the trend of how big the women's game, how big of an emphasis it's been, how, here we are talking about it. I don't think we talked, and I know Jazz we didn't have a Husker, but still, there's a lot of emphasis on it with this talented group that's being drafted tonight. And it's love that it's being made a big deal.
Yeah, so good luck to Jazz. We're pulling for you. Such a great Husker career that she has had. All right, we're bumping a thing up a segment here. We're going to do some weekend winners. Who wants to start?
I can go first.
Okay.
I'm going to give it up to Sarah Harness, who was just instrumental in Nebraska softball coming back and in the 7-6 win in the 8th inning over Rutgers yesterday. So a come from behind win that ended up allowing them to win the series because they had dropped the game on Friday, so they ended up bouncing back Saturday, and they clinched the series on Sunday. But they were down 6-1, and she comes in, and let me finish with she entered the game in the 4th inning, allowed 1 run on just 2 hits in 5 innings. She retired 11 of the final 12 batters. So giving those bats that have been electric for Nebraska softball a chance to come back and win that game. So she kind of came in, settled things down, and we talk all the time about the hitters because there's been somebody new. Yeah. But for Sarah Harness to be able to come in and to give the opportunity for those bats to get going and come back and win that thing, I'm going to give it to a pitcher of Nebraska softball.
Their RPI's at 41. They're right there on that edge. That's a team that still can make the NCAA tournament. So
and they go to Michigan, and then they have Northwestern. So they've got some big series coming up.
A couple of big ones. They'll be home for the Northwestern series, same weekend as the spring game. That's a huge weekend. You have spring football, obviously, and then both baseball and softball are at home. All right, boys, who in the back wants somebody needs to come up here and use this mic so we can get you on camera.
It was bad hair day for both of us. I'll start.
Bad hair day.
I'll start.
I had those a lot too.
I'll go with my bright spot of Husker baseball this weekend, Mason McConaughey.
Okay.
Named Big Ten Pitcher of the Week, tied his career high, 9 Ks, 4-2 on the year, sneakily, giving Brett Sears a run for his money.
And against the best hitting team in the league. To do it on their field, that was really dominant for Mason. So,
how many times do you want to call him Matthew?
All right. People go, how's he say his last name? I go, like the actor. Oh, Matthew McConaughey. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Camden.
All right, I'm going way off course here. My winner is Houston Rockets center Boban Marjanovic. I'm not sure if you saw this yesterday, but against the Clippers, he missed his first free throw, and the Clippers fans get free chicken if an opponent misses 2 consecutive free throws. So late in the 4th quarter, Boban pointed to himself and seemed to purposely miss the second free throw. So he's my winner for giving Clippers fans some free chicken.
That's fantastic.
I love it. That's awesome.
Love it. That's a great story. I'm glad you enlightened us. I can't believe in the chat room, some people want me to be the winner because I did pick Scotty Scheffler. That was a huge risk on my part to take Scotty Scheffler to win the Masters.
You know who also could have been a winner is Duke for filling in for Cole's Joke of the Week on
That's what
Thursday.
I heard. I heard he rocked it. Do we have a controversy? Although somebody says everybody loves the backup quarterback.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So Scotty Schefter could have definitely been. My weekend winner, Nate Rohr. Did you see him catch the foul ball at Rutgers?
No.
While he was on the air, he tweeted it out. While he was on the air, foul ball came back his way. He made the catch while he was on the air. I think we tweeted, I think maybe the network tweeted out the call of him catching a foul. It was phenomenal. Cole, I know you guys saw it. You and Camden saw it, didn't you?
That's amazing. He's had some instances this year. He had to call through a chair breaking he told us about.
Yeah,
he catches a foul ball.
Yeah.
He's got all kinds of awesomeness happening around him.
Fantastic. Nate, I'm proud of you. I knew you had it in you. I know some people think that you're all thumbs, but you proved yourself pretty good there. One other one from the chat room, Adrian Martinez. I flipped on some USFL or whatever, UFL the other night. He's starting for Birmingham. He looked really good. So good for Adrian.
Yeah, it seemed somebody was just quote tweeting every throw that he made, and he was dropping some dimes.
Did a great job. Good stuff for there. All right, I'm going to say goodbye to Jessica because next segment I got something I want to share with everybody. So goodbye. Have a good night.
All right, have a good one.
Time to tell you, though, the Husker fans, you need to check out all the new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks, pricing on hundreds of items in-store or online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. So goodbye to everybody. I'm going to stick around. Got a little something I want to converse with all of you about. We'll do that coming up next.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Experience a redefined car buying experience with Woodhouse Mazda. Visit the Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers and explore our exceptional lineup, like the versatile and capable Mazda CX-50 or the sleek and modern Mazda CX-30. Right now, receive a low APR of 3.49% for 60 months or 4.49 APR for 72 months on our full lineup of 2024 Mazda 3 hatchbacks. With approved credit, tax title license extra when financed through Mazda Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires April 30th, 2024. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Well, tonight, my least favorite topic, it's me. And I don't like to make much about myself, but and I'll be honest with you, I'm going to tell you something tonight that I wasn't sure I wanted to really tell. One, I don't want to tell it. Two, I'm not sure I wanted to let it out. But sometimes when you have news and you don't kind of confront it, a lot of rumors, innuendos get thrown out there and half-truths. And then in the end, people are like, well, why didn't you just say it? Why didn't you come out and just tell us? So bottom line is I have been diagnosed with cancer, found out, a week or two ago. And so we're getting close to the point where treatment will be necessary. And so it's going to disrupt my work here on Sports Nightly and probably some baseball broadcasts. And boy, that agitates me because this season is going so well. So much fun being around that team. But I got a great team of doctors that are putting together the plan. I'm not going to get too deep into the weeds. I've kind of had symptoms for a couple of months. It's in the pancreatic region of the body is kind of where we're looking at the treatment to begin. But that's, again, I don't want to get down the medical path too much. But also did not want night after night, if I miss 3-4 straight sports Nightlies, for Jessica to have to answer questions. Where's he at tonight? What's he doing tonight? Does he quit? Did he leave town? Did he bank? Did he rob a bank? What happened? I mean, so I didn't want to go down that path. And for David and Ben on the baseball broadcast, same thing. If I'm missing games, it's not because I want to. Obviously, it's because I'm dealing with treatment or the after effects of treatment. And I know so many of you out there, you have dealt with this either yourself or with a family member, and you know how disruptive it can be for your lives, for yours, for your family's life. And man, my wife Amy has been a rock for the last month for me to lean on, and I'm so blessed to have somebody like her in my life. And I'm sure those of you that have dealt with this know that you got to have that support system to kind of fight your way through this type of thing. I want to thank Jason Rathie, my boss here at Playfly. He's been phenomenal, telling me that you do what you need to do. If you're gonna miss some days, we'll cover that. And I've been told that this can be a flaw of mine. I don't view it that way, but I don't like not completing my assignments. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing my part of the job. And so when I have to miss a show, miss a game, I feel like I'm not doing my work. But I've been properly slapped on the wrist by coworkers, including Jessica, family members, about, Greg, you gotta let us carry this for a while. So that's what it is. I'm not ready to walk away yet, but I'm certainly going to have some disruption in my life in the coming months, and just wanted to share that with all of you. And I know we're coming up against the clock here, but I got a great relationship with God, and He's been with me a lot in the last couple of weeks, months. Heck, He's with me right now to make sure I can get through this. And I'm gonna work that relationship hard in the coming weeks. You know, and they also tell you that set a goal, set something you want to attain and be a part of. And I'll tell you, it's gonna be easy for me to say this. I want to get this thing. I want to whip its butt and get myself ready for football, because I think we're gonna have a fabulous football season around here in the fall. So we'll end it with that. Thank you all for your support. My plan is to be here as often as possible. Today I feel pretty good. Some days I don't feel as good as others. So my plan, God willing, will be at the ballpark tomorrow night with Ben for the Huskers and the Creighton Blue Jays. That'll put a wrap on tonight's show. Thanks to Cole and to Canada for being a part of this one. Y'all take care of yourself tonight. Have a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice. to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Woodhouse Nissan is an easy choice when shopping for your next vehicle. Lease the 2024 Nissan Sentra SV with $0 down for just $297 a month, or purchase for $341 a month for 75 months through NMAC financing. This is Woodhouse Nissan. Lease for 36 months, 5,000 miles per year with approved credit, tax, title, license extra, first payment, and $299 doc fee due at signing. Discounted price based on a sale price of $22,009. $500 MY24 Sentra NMAC bonus cash rebate and $750 NMAC cash rebate available towards deal. VIN number RY275251. Offer expires April 30th, 2024. See dealer for details.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses.